Rhonda. Kathy, did I forget anyone? What about the governor? Good idea. Patty, do you realize what you're doing? You don't think they'll come, huh? Well, you're wrong. When you've got the greatest speaker in the whole wide world, everyone will come to hear him.
Hi, I'm home.
That's Papa. Wait till I tell him the news. Oh, boy, Papa, have I got some hot news for you.
Hello, Patty.
Oh, hi. You know Mrs. Donovan, our creative writing teacher?
Uh-huh.
Well, she told us to suggest a guest speaker for the class next Monday, and I got the greatest speaker in the whole wide world.
Gee, that's wonderful.
You don't know the half of it. Mrs. Donovan's so flipped out, she invited other teachers to hear the speaker.
Well, it sounds very exciting. Who is this great speaker?
You?
Meet Kathy, who lived most everywhere, from Zanzibar to Berkeley Square. But Patty's only seen the sights a girl can see from Brooklyn Heights. What a crazy pair. But they're cousins, identical cousins all the way. One pair of matching bookends, different as night and day.
Where Kathy adores a minuet,
The ballet russe and crepe Suzette. Our Patty loves to rock and roll, the hot dog makes her lose control. What a wild duet. Still they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind when cousins are two of a kind.
Papa, you can't say no.
I just did.
But you didn't. You're already committed.
You're committed. I'm not.
Well, either way, the point is you've got to make a speech in front of that class.
Patty, you had no right to tell Mrs. Donovan I was going to be there without asking me first.
So I got carried away. Papa, I thought you'd jump at it. It's an opportunity to talk to the future writers of America.
Yeah, but I have a newspaper to put out. I just can't get away on Monday morning.
Papa, when was the last time I asked you for a favor?
This morning.
Boy, if I can't bring in my own father, I'll be the laughingstock of the whole school. You love to make speeches.
That's right, and I'm going to make one right now. Patty, in the future, when you want something from someone, have the courtesy to ask them first. You can't go around making commitments for other people. Now, that's something you're going to have to get over. Is that clear?
Can I ask you one question?
Yeah, what is it?
Why won't you make a speech in front of the class?
Patty!
Well, the wheels are in motion. It's like a juggernaut that can't be stopped.
Well, just be sure it doesn't run over you. Where's your mother?
In the kitchen. Any luck? Oh, yeah. Lots of it. All bad. He wouldn't do it. Oh, he'll do it. He just doesn't know it yet. I think you'd better get another speaker. Have I ever missed yet?
She didn't even ask me, Natalie. Now, how could Patty be so irresponsible?
I suppose she was sure you'd accept.
Huh?
Martin, you're going to spoil your dinner.
Well, one little olive? Ah, she's going to have to tell Mrs. Donovan she spoke too soon.
Well, you do like to make speeches, Martin.
But that's not the point, Natalie. I mean, it's one thing to be a guest speaker. It's another thing to be a captive. Besides, I couldn't make it on Monday morning anyway. That's when we have our staff meetings. She's just going to have to get somebody else.
And the way she talked, I don't think she's planning to get anybody else.
Oh, it's not my problem.
I hope not. Martin.
Oh, one little radish?
Hi, Kath.
Hello, Richard.
Hiya, Patty.
Hi, Rich.
Well, did you talk to him? Is he going to do it?
Yeah. No.
Well, what does that mean? Is he going to speak or isn't he?
Of course he is, Richard. But he doesn't know it yet.
Oh, you've done it again. I told you should have asked him first.
Will you stop worrying? I told you he'll be there.
He seemed awful positive.
Of course I'm positive. In fact, I'll bet you dinner in the theater that my father will make that speech Monday morning. Is it a bet?
Would you mind if I got a drink of water before I made my decision?
No.
Thanks.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello, Richard.
Oh, Richard.
Mr. Lane, are you going to speak at Patty's class on Monday?
No, Richard, I'm not.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Thanks a lot. Bye. It's a bet.
Busy, darling?
Oh, no. I was just finishing up an editorial. Sit down.
I just had a long talk with Patty while she helped me with the dishes.
Patty who?
This thing on Monday is really very important to her.
Oh, it's more important than you know, Nat. Do you realize what week this is?
No,
National Character Building Week.
I never heard of it.
I just made it up. Listen, Nat. Patty has to learn sooner or later that she cannot use people. Now, I'd probably be willing to speak at her school, but I'm not going to let her force me into a position where I have to speak there.
You won't change your mind?
Well, I sure won't.
All right, I'll just have to tell her that I did the best I could.
Do you mean that she sent you in here to talk to me?
Oh, Martin, she seems so desperate and, I don't know, helpless.
Patty's about as helpless as a Sherman tank.
She said it was like a juggernaut that couldn't be stopped.
Well, I'm sure it's not that serious, Nat. She probably doesn't even know what a juggernaut is.
Come to think of it, I'm not sure I do.
No, it was from Hindu mythology. It was a monstrous wagon with a religious idol on the top of it. And they used to roll it down the street, and fanatics would throw themselves under the wheels. They get carried away by their emotions, you know.
Patty knows what a juggernaut is.
Uncle Martin,
Mm-hmm.
are you busy?
No. I was just finishing up an editorial. Sit down.
Thank you. Oh, my, isn't that interesting? It must be wonderful to be able to influence so many people.
Well, I'm not sure I'm influencing anybody. I just express my opinion.
You know, the greatest place to mold opinions is in the school, where the minds are at a formative stage.
No.
No what?
No, I'm not going to speak at Brooklyn Heights High on Monday morning. Now, Kathy, you got a lot of common sense. How could you let Patty use you that way?
Use me?
Well, sure. She sent you in here to plead her cause.
Well, she didn't exactly send me.
Well, she doesn't exactly send me either. Look, you tell her that you took the message to Garcia and he said no.
Martin, are you certain you won't change your mind?
Yeah, I'm positive.
Then I'm worried.
Why?
Because Patty's not going to change her mind either.
You busy, Dad?
No, I was just finishing up an editorial. Sit down. Over here.
I'd like to talk to you about Patty's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
You see, I figured that this year, instead of giving her handkerchiefs or something, we might do something nice for her. I think that it would make Patty very happy if you went to speak at her school.
When did you develop this sudden interest in Patty's welfare?
What's so sudden about it? I've always been interested in Patty's welfare. It's just that I've been too busy up to now to do anything about it.
Oh.
Yes, sir. In my book, Patty's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So won't you please do it? It'd mean a lot to her.
Mm-hmm.
And to me.
What does it mean to you?
$1 if you say maybe, 2 if you say yes.
So what you're suggesting is that instead of the usual birthday present, we should give Patty something different. Me.
Right.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah?
Sure. I think if I speak at her school, it'd be a wonderful birthday present.
Then you'll do it?
I'll be glad to. On her birthday. Next December.
Well, you can't win them all.
Yeah, I know that, Ross, and you know it. The question is, does Patty know it?
Ross, here. Well, how'd you do?
He said he'd speak at your school for your birthday.
Oh, Ross, isn't he the greatest? That little kid went right in there and talked him right into it. What else did he say?
Would you buy me a soda before I tell you?
You said he'd do it.
Yeah, but you'll have to wait till December.
Well, fellas, what'll it be?
I'll have a chocolate sundae.
And I'll have another peanut butter and jelly sandwich with a chocolate soda. And don't forget the onions.
A chocolate soda with onions?
Don't be silly. They're for the peanut butter and jelly. Excuse me a minute. Well, Patty?
If you say I told you so.
I wasn't going to say that, but now that you mention it, I told you so.
Oh, boy, there's Mrs. Donovan.
Hello, Kathy.
Hello, Mrs. Donovan.
Hello, Mrs.
Oh,
Donovan.
don't get up. Don't get up.
This is my cousin Ross. Ross, this is Mrs. Donovan, Patty's creative writing teacher.
Oh, that, Mrs. Donovan.
Did you lose something, Patty?
No. Hi there, Mrs. Donovan.
I can't tell you how I'm looking forward to hearing your father on Monday.
We're all looking forward to it, aren't we, Patty?
You must be pretty excited about it.
Oh, yes.
Her father is, too.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, he hasn't been this excited about anything in years.
Well, you tell your father how much we're looking forward to hearing him speak.
I will. You know, I sure hope he doesn't get called away to the Far East this weekend.
Well, is there a possibility of that?
Oh, well, you never know with the newspaper editor. They have to go where the news is. And the situation's pretty flaky down there, you know.
Well, if he's in the Far East, we'll understand. But if he's here, we'll expect him at school on Monday.
Well, what are you going to do now, Patty?
It's very simple, Richard. I'll just figure out a way to get my father to the Far East for the weekend.
The important thing to remember about writing is that the creative faculty is there for all of us to use. But like any other faculty, if we want to develop it, we must constantly use it and improve it.
I thought you'd gone. Aren't you playing golf today?
Oh, no. I called Eddie Sheldon and told him to go on without me.
What are you doing?
Oh, well, I'm just rehearsing a little speech.
What kind of a little speech?
Well, it's a little speech for Patty's creative writing class on Monday.
Oh, darling. I can't thank you enough
Well, what for?
for getting Patty off my neck. Oh, she's going to be so tickled.
Well, to be perfectly blunt about it, I'm not really doing it for Patty.
No?
No, I got to thinking about it, and I decided, why should I deprive the whole class?
You mean why deprive him of the greatest speaker in the world?
Yeah. No. Well, okay, yeah.
Wonder if Patty knows how lucky she is to have a father like you.
Well, if she doesn't, I'll tell her. You know, I had to change our whole staff meeting around to do this, and this thing is really developing. I mean, it's something a lot bigger than Patty would bargain for.
What do you mean?
Well, I told TJ about it, and he thought there might be a story in it. So we've assigned a reporter and a photographer to cover my speech. You know, famous editor addresses his daughter's creative writing class.
I thought you were going to address the class.
Well, I am. Oh.
I think it's just marvelous. Wish I knew where Patty was. I'd call her.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the look on her face when I take her off the hook.
I'll let you know what happens, Richard. Patty, are you sure you know what you're doing? Of course I do. It's one of my finer moments. When I tell Papa that I've invited a rival editor to come and talk to my class, he'll beg me to let him come. But you haven't invited anyone else. That doesn't make any difference. You just don't know anything about psychology. Watch me fix it. Papa!
I'll let you break the news to her.
Oh, hi, Mom. Can I talk to you a minute?
Is it about that speech on Monday?
Yeah, how'd you guess?
Well, because I'd like to talk to you about that speech, too.
Papa, before you start, I want you to know that I've been thinking it over and I realized I was wrong.
Well, so long as you realize what you did.
So I asked someone else to make the speech for me.
You what?
What do you mean you invited someone else?
Just what I said. You know Mr. Connolly of the Evening Express? He said he'd be delighted to do it. Isn't that the end?
The living end.
You mean it doesn't grab you?
You mean that you asked the editor of that scandal sheet to address your class?
Oh, it's not such a bad paper, Papa. And I understand Mr. Connolly's a great speaker.
Patty, how could you do this?
I thought I was the greatest speaker in the whole wide world.
Well, you are, Papa. But Mr. Connolly's going to be there. See ya.
See that little girl who just walked out of here? Do you know what she's done to me? She has made me the laughingstock of the whole newspaper business.
Oh, Martin, now, it's not that bad.
It isn't. Do you know what I have to do now? I have to get on the phone and tell TJ that my daughter has rejected me in favor of the editor of the Evening Express. Nat, how could she do that to me?
Martin, why don't you explain it to her?
Explain it. Oh, you mean beg her to let me speak there? Well, I wouldn't speak there now if my whole life depended on it.
She did invite you first, you know. I mean, there's really no reason to be upset.
Who's upset? And I'll tell you another thing. That Connolly has been spoiling for a fight for a long time. He probably put Patty up to this, turning my own daughter against me. Okay, if it's war he wants, that's what he's going to get. War.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to rewrite Monday's editorial. You know, the Evening Express has been opposed to bond issues for schools for a long time. Well, I'm going to ask them on the front page of the Chronicle how they have the nerve to send their editor down there to speak to a group of high school students. Wait a minute, I have a better idea. I'm going to send a reporter down to cover his speech. And then I'm going to print that speech right on the front page opposite the editorial he wrote attacking the bond issue. I'll nail him to the mast.
Darling, calm down.
I am calm, Natalie. I'm calm.
Does it work?
Like a charm. Oh, Kathy, man, it's so easy to handle when you got the key.
Are you sure you didn't force the lock?
Of course I'm sure. In 3 minutes, there will be a knock on that door, and Papa will come in, and he'll say,
Patty, I've been thinking it over, and, well, you were right. I should have accepted your invitation to speak for the class, and, well, if it's not too late, maybe you could call Connolly and tell him you've made other arrangements. I'm more powerful than I thought.
Man!
Patty,
Yes, Papa?
I have been thinking about your invitation to Connolly.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I would like to tell you something.
Go ahead.
I think it's the best thing you could have done.
You do?
Yeah, and in fact, you can tell him from me that the Chronicle is going to send a reporter down there to cover his speech, and I would like to hear what he has to say about that.
Papa, look, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe you'd reconsider about speaking at the school. Why can't we sit down and talk it over,
Oh, we can sit down, but there's nothing to talk about. Everything I have to say from now on, I will say on the front page of the Chronicle.
The Chronicle?
Yeah, I have just declared war on the Evening Express.
Well, what you going to do now, Patty?
What's left? I just started World War III.
Patty,
Hi, Rich.
Kathy told me the bad news.
I've done it again.
No, you haven't. This time you've outdone yourself. You've got 2 speakers who aren't going to speak, and you started a newspaper war.
You know, that's what I like about you, Rich. Whenever things look blackest, you're always there with a word of doom.
I just want you to face facts.
I can't.
Why not?
If I did, I'd kill myself.
You never even asked Connolly to speak, did you?
I may be a lot of things, but I'm not a traitor. I wouldn't go to that scandal sheet if you paid me. Do you know they've been against every bond issue for new schools? The only person I wanted to speak there was my father. Have you ever heard him speak, Richard? He's really great. He gets so excited about everything he says, and he gets everybody else excited. I guess he's just about the greatest speaker in the whole wide world.
Except Monday morning.
Except Monday morning. Don't worry about those tickets, Rich. I'll get them, and you decide where you'd like to have dinner.
Oh, don't worry about that. You can forget our bet. I'm worried about you. The president of the school board is going to be there Monday morning. Your father is sending a reporter, and you haven't got a speaker.
Think anybody will notice?
You could go to Mrs. Donovan and explain.
On Saturday?
Well, what about the...
I tried. She's not listed in the phone book.
Well, there's one other solution.
Oh, I thought of that. But I'm a coward.
Tell your father the truth.
Kathy thought of that. I can't.
Well, why not?
Richard, the reason Papa was not going to school in the first place is because he thought I tried to force him into it. Don't you see, if I go to him now and tell him what I've done, he'll think I'm using even more pressure to get him to do it. I can't. It's my own private little disaster.
Well, if it's any help to you, I'm on your side, Patty.
Sure it helps, Rich.
Isn't Patty coming down to breakfast?
I don't think she's feeling very well, Uncle Martin.
Well, isn't she going to school today?
I don't know.
This is D-Day, isn't it?
Yes, I guess you could call it that.
You're going to be there?
No, but we're sending a photographer and a reporter to cover it.
Uncle Martin, do you really think that's wise?
Yeah, I think so, Kath.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning, darling.
Well, bye, everybody.
Aren't you having any breakfast?
I'm not hungry.
Well, I must say you don't seem very happy in your hour of triumph. I mean, it isn't every day that you can convince the managing editor of a newspaper to address your high school class.
It isn't any day.
I guess all the excitement's just gone to my stomach. Papa, I just want you to know that whatever happens, I love you. Bye.
Well, I wonder what's gotten into her.
Guilt feelings, probably. Well, I better get on downtown.
Uncle Martin, may I speak with you a moment, please?
Oh, sure, Kath.
Privately?
Oh, well, why don't we go in the living room?
Ross, you can help me clear.
Haven't you ever heard of the child labor laws, Mom? Besides, don't eavesdrop.
Ross. Good morning, students. Well, this is a red-letter day for the class. And on behalf of the entire class, I'd like to thank Patty Lane for arranging to have her father address us. Now, this is Mr. Dratler, the president of the Board of Education. And, of course, you all know Mr. Lewis, our principal. Oh, and Mr. Lane's speech is being covered by the New York Daily Chronicle. Now, before her father speaks, I imagine Patty has a few things she'd like to say to us. Patty?
As you know, my father is the managing editor of a newspaper. And managing editors are very busy people. They are always busy managing their paper. And, well, one person shouldn't really commit another person to do something unless she checks with him. So I'm here to apologize to you because...
Because I'm late. I'm sorry about that, but as my daughter said, a newspaper editor is pretty busy editing his newspaper.
Papa.
That's all right, honey. You just sit down and relax and listen to the greatest speaker in the whole wide world. Thank you. Thank you very much. Stay with you. Hi, Dad.
Hi, darling. Well, tell me, how did it go?
I was a smash.
I'm sure you were.
Patty home?
No, she stopped off at Richard's, but she should be home any minute.
Yeah. You know, I may have let myself in for more than I'd bargained for.
What do you mean?
Well, Mrs. Donovan said that next month they're going to have a citywide meeting of all the creative writing classes, and they're looking for a guest speaker.
Oh, no.
Oh, well, that's okay. I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Hi, Mom. Hi, Papa.
Hi, honey.
Well, I guess you heard.
Yes?
Oh, boy, was I a sensation.
You were?
Oh, yeah. Mrs. Donovan went on and on to the class about how you have to use your imagination when you're picking a guest speaker. All the kids were even telling me how thrilled they were.
Yeah. Incidentally, how was your father?
Oh, Papa was fine. You know, even Mr. Lewis congratulated me.
Well, I'm glad we both had such a triumph.
You know that Mrs. Donovan said I could pick all the guest speakers from now on?
Gee, that's wonderful. She was mentioning something about a conference of creative writers next month.
Yeah, you know who I'm going to get for that?
Well, I have an idea.
The greatest speaker in the whole wide world. Vice President Hubert Humphrey.
What a crazy pair, but they're cousins, identical cousins, and you'll find they laugh alike, they walk alike, at times they even talk alike. You can lose your mind.